Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James. Guys, the channel that brings you your team every day. Thank you for your phenomenal support over the last few days. Please obviously continue to subscribe to the channel and help the channel to keep on growing. Well, we're going to deal with what could be a more positive few days for the club in terms of squad strengthening. It does now seem that players are on the move, with obviously talk of Connor Goldson been on the move, Sam Lammer's been on the move. There's still that rumour of James Tavernier being on the move, and so on. Money being freed up and players being brought in. Now, initially, there's a lot of these players are being talked of as loans. Now, as we know, that's obviously probably not the ideal. We'd rather obviously sign players that we're going to keep and we're going to develop. But, look, I suppose the position we're in financially at this moment in time, if we can bring players in on loan and good players in on loan, there may be even be an option to buy those players at some point in the future. Like there is obviously the obligation to buy Cortez. We've obviously already purchased Diamande. So what are the players? Who are the players? Where is it coming from? What's the talk? Anyway, so there's three players that are currently been heavily linked with Rangers, including reports in a number of their domestic medias that they are in advanced talks with Rangers over loan moves to the club for this coming season, which I find very positive. It is good news that these three players are being mentioned. Whether or not there's any, whether or not it is 100% true, or whether or not there really is a chance of Rangers signing them, who knows? Only time will tell. And I think, a lot of you will say the same thing until they're stood at Ockenhowie or Ibrox wearing the shirt with the scarf above their head. We're not obviously going to believe it. So that's fair enough. And that's absolutely fine. And, we've had plenty of options to mistrust this board and mistrust the club over the last few days, weeks, months, with what has been going on as regards the stadium and other matters. We're also going to mention the new third kit as well, which is out. Hang on for that. That is coming up near the end of this video. So the three players that are currently being discussed for Rangers are these three. Now, we know that Václav Černý is a player that has been linked. There was talks of him obviously flying over to undergo medical ahead of a loan move, with a possible option to buy for 8 million next summer. Possibility. I think a lot of this is gambling on Champions League entry, if I'm being very honest with you. Also, rumours as reports tonight in Spain that Rangers have gone in with an improved offer for Joan Jordan. No doubt looking at their need to have a six, the fact that we have a real weakness in, getting the ball back, retaining the ball, turning the ball over and restarting attacks, especially with the fact that League One Birmingham City just played through us as if we weren't there. Along with a lot of other issues around the tactics that we use. Guys, if you want a really good insight in tactics, listen to the This Is Ibrox post-match reaction. John Walker is absolutely fantastic on there. Give him a listen. Also, today it has been talked that Rangers are interested in what was described in the Sun as Manchester United wonder kid. I wouldn't put him as a wonder kid, given the fact that Manchester United were looking to sell him. He went on loan to Sevilla last year. They had an option to buy, thought to be in the region of 17 million, which we know is well out of Rangers' price range. But he's. I don't think they'd be offering to sell him if he was such a wonder kid. I think for them, the likes of Amad Diallo are the next kind of sensations coming through their youth system, although they did buy him from Atalanta for a large sum of money. So these are the three players. Well, let's start off by talking about the latest, the most present link that has come up, and that is Hannibal. Maybe it's a situation where, if Todd Cantwell leaves, we need somebody else with a wild and wacky hairstyle, someone else whose hair can get the nation talking, get Rangers talking. The fact that he has a rather incredible hairstyle. I mean, maybe that's why I was. I think that's just me being really stupid. But there we go. Anyway, let's find out a little bit more about him before we talk about the type of player that he is. His name is Hannibal Mejbrini. He is 21 years old. He was born in Ivry-sur-Seine in France, which is something on the Seine River. However, he is a Tunisian international because he has Tunisian and French citizenship through his parents. He is just about 6 foot. He is right-footed. He's an attacking midfield player, plays in that 10 role. Very much a kind of type of 10 that Clement wants, someone who will be central, someone who can run past the striker, someone who can link up play between the midfield and the forwards very, very well. Certainly more less of a roamer than Cantwell, less of a free spirit than Cantwell, someone who's more likely to stick to the role that Clement wants him to play. He is under contract only until next season. This would, of course, indicate that getting 17 million for him after this season would be very, very hard indeed. As a player, obviously entering the last year of his contract, is never worth the same amount of money as a player with 2 to 3 years to go on his deal. Now, it's thought this would be a loan move. And we'll talk a bit more about that shortly. He's played for Birmingham City, rather weirdly, on loan, as well as obviously for Manchester United. He's actually made 13 first-team appearances for Manchester United, and he made 6 appearances while on loan at Sevilla last season. So 41 appearances for Birmingham, 1 goal, 6 assists. Man United's under 23s, 41 appearances, 6 goals, 17 assists, a very high number of assists there, 23 goal contributions in 41, very good indeed. For Man United, 1 goal in 13, and then obviously Sevilla 6, and did not trouble the scorers. Hannibal, his main position is attacking midfield, although he can also play right wing and centre midfield. So again, he's one of those modern hybrid players able to play in a number of different positions. In terms of his experience, he's played in the Championship, obviously for Birmingham. He's played in Premier League 2. He's played in the Under-18 Premier League. He's played in the Premier League. He's played in La Liga, the FA Youth Cup, the EFL Trophy, which I think I've said on previous videos. English Premier League teams are allowed to put their youth teams into that competition. The FA Cup, he's played 2 Champions League games, 2 UEFA Youth League games. He's played EFL Cup games. So even at a very young age, he does have a vast CV of experience in terms of the leagues he's played in, the competitions he's been in. He's gained a lot of experience in his time with Manchester United, Birmingham, and of course Sevilla. Which is all very positive. Now, this was obviously off the back of this tweet from MUFC MPB, which is one of the main, not the main, obviously, it's not the United Stand, which is Mark Goldbridge's main Man United fan channel. But this is from one of the other big Man United fan channels. Hannibal Mejbri is in advanced talks to join Rangers on loan. Now, in terms of Hannibal, what type of player is he? Well, he is an aggressive, forward-thinking, attacking player. He is a player who likes to press, who likes to lead the press, who likes to get up in people's faces. He is a player that can play a killer pass. He's a player with an eye for goal. He is quick, he's strong, he's young, very enthusiastic. Now, he has had a few issues around his discipline in recent years, but it's thought that he has over time grown up a little and has developed and is perhaps not the loose cannon he was in the past. But it does seem that this is a real genuine link. Now, there is another club that are currently interested in acquiring the services of Hannibal, and that is FC Copenhagen. Now, it's thought that Copenhagen have got somewhat of a head start on Rangers because of the fact that they'd already had some talks with Hannibal. But according to reports in Manchester, there is strong suggestions that Hannibal does not favour a move to Denmark, that he doesn't want to go and play in Denmark. So would very much look at that move to Rangers. He's played, like I said, 21 times for his country. Looks a good player, looks a very, very good player. Now, obviously, like I said, Sevilla had an option to buy last year for 17 million. They didn't take it up. It's thought that Erik ten Hag is willing to try and, move out a number of his players, either permanently or on loan. So this is a player that Ten Hag apparently is willing to allow to leave the club. Doesn't seem as part of his first team plans for this coming season. Like I said, he is out of contract in the summer, so that is obviously a real positive. It would obviously be a loan spell initially, which would give us a chance to run our eye over him. I think in the long run, realistically, Hannibal isn't a long-term target for Rangers. This is a lad who's come through the Man United youth system, someone who has a very high market value. I think the present market value is somewhere in the region of 12.5 million. And you can only imagine that if he came to Rangers, played well, that even with only 1 year left on his deal, Manchester United could probably somehow conjure a large fee for him, something that that certainly we wouldn't be able to afford. But this is certainly a very exciting prospect and a very exciting player. He was the player that played that through ball for Hugill to score the second against Rangers at Murrayfield. Like I said, he's exciting, he's quick, he's strong, he presses well. He uses the ball well. His distribution is very good. His eye for a pass is good. This is certainly would be a very positive move for the club, and adding him into the midfield, I think, would be a huge lift. And if you look at that midfield, we do need to add quality to it. I talked a little bit on the video the other day about if Cantwell leaves, then that leaves us Lawrence, Hadji likely to leave, and Alex Lowry as 10s. And look, nothing against Alex Lowry. I just think that, looking at Alex now, and I know he's had some tough times of late, but I don't think he has what it takes really to become the next Rangers number 10 that Clement wants. By the same token, I don't think Lawrence is quick enough. I think he's a bit too slow. I don't think he is the answer either. Hadji, obviously, I think is likely to leave. So who does that leave us? So someone like Hannibal on loan, I think, would be a very positive signing. Okay, so let's move along to that second name on the list, which is Václav Černý. Now, Černý obviously played once during Euro 2024 for the Czech Republic. He's also only had experience of playing against and beating Celtic in Europe, which, okay, is not a major achievement. Let's face it, because there's a lot of teams beat Celtic in Europe. Let's put it this way: putting one over on the green and whites in Europe is not really that hard, is it? But in terms of Černý, again, this would be a loan initially, perhaps with an option to buy. There is one slight worry about Černý, and I'll get to that in a minute. Now, Černý is a winger, which is certainly something we need. He plays on the right. He's one of those inverted wingers, likes to come inside. And certainly, I think, if we are to be perhaps a little bit more effective in our attacking, we do need wingers to invert that a little bit more, to come inside and give the fullbacks chance to bomb on down the outside. And I think where we've been more effective, it's when wingers that, looking at, say, Ridvan's role in things. When Ridvan goes out wide and he is direct and he goes, through the gears and down the outside, and the winger comes inside to create space, because the winger pulls inside, which naturally pulls the fullback onto him, creating more space. The winger then has a decision to make. Does he stay up the field or does he track Ridvan? If he tracks, then obviously, again, that limits the chance of the opposition's counter-attacking on us. So, again, it's tactics. And look, I'll be honest with you, I don't really want to talk tactics in this video. That's not what this video is about. But Rangers have got a severe lack of shape, attacking patterns and defensive patterns at the moment. I think someone like Černý coming into the team, giving us width, with Cortez on the other side, would certainly give us a whole host of options. So what do we know about Černý? He's 26, so has obviously a lot more experience, slightly under 6 foot. He's attacking right winger. He's left-footed. He's currently with Wolfsburg. His contract expires in 2027. That's why 8 million is a fee that is being very much discussed for Václav Černý. Again, he's a player with a lot of experience playing, particularly in the Eredivisie and now in the Bundesliga. I mean, his Twente numbers and his Ajax numbers are absolutely fantastic. I mean, Twente, he played 78 times for them, scoring 22 goals and 21 assists. That's 43 goal contributions in 78. That's better than 1 in 2. For Ajax, he, again, he played 29 times for Ajax, scoring 4 goals with 6 assists. Decent numbers, 10 in 29. His Ajax under 21 numbers are phenomenal, 31 goals, 25 assists. That's 56 goal contributions in 69. With Wolfsburg, he's been slightly less effective, and that is down to the fact that he has missed quite a lot of time with injury, which of course will start alarm bells ringing amongst Rangers fans. 6 goal contributions in 25, perhaps not as impressive there. I mean, this is the one kind of worry about Černý, is that he does have a bit of a history of injury just recently, which obviously makes him perfect for Rangers, because we love a player that gets injured. But look, Černý again is a very exciting prospect, a very good footballer, a direct, a quick, attacking footballer. Someone, who will obviously hold down one of those wing spots, again, I think could really add to this squad. And I think, along with Hannibal, you put him in there with Diamande and Barron, it gives us, and Cortez, it gives us a very scary looking midfield in my estimations. Even he went with a 3 with Hannibal, Barron and Diamande, and then a front 3 of Cortez, a striker who we still need to buy, in my opinion, given how awful Dessers is and how, not match fit Danilo is. And Černý the other side, I think this would give us a whole host of very exciting options going forward. And, I think one of the big criticisms of Rangers over this pre-season is our inability to take chances, our ability to create chances to some degree as well, good goal-scoring chances. And certainly having players like Černý, Cortez, and then going and getting a striker finally could actually help Rangers overcome those difficulties. Now, According to reports in Spain, Rangers have made a second approach for Johan Jordan. It does seem that Philippe Clement and Niels Koppen are very keen to sign the 30-year-old Spaniard. Now, we did find, as I spoke to you in a video earlier, that Jordan is certainly very much surplus to requirements in Sevilla. Both the manager Pimienta and the sporting director at Sevilla, one Victor Orta, have both indicated that this man doesn't really have a future at the club. Now, Rangers, I think, are trying to get him on loan, possibly, I think, with an option to buy in the future. I mean, again, the one thing that does slightly go against Jordan is his age. He is 30 years old. But, you know, if rumours were to be believed that Rangers were interested in Kenny McLean, who was a lot older, you know, this could certainly still be a goer. You could still get 3-4 years out of the player. And as I've said on a number of occasions, it's not just about signing kids in this model. It's not just about bringing in kids. Now, this was the tweet from one of the Spanish journalists, Fernando Serrano, who said, exclusive, oferta del Rangers, donde se haría cargo del 40% del salario de Juan Jordan. Now, I know what you're all thinking. What the fuck does that mean? It's Spanish, Owen. We don't speak Spanish. Or some of you might speak Spanish. I don't know. But it's in Spanish. Yes, I get that. So the offer of Rangers to bring basically to bring Jordan to the club, they are offering to take on 40% of Jordan's salary. Now, this goes against what was originally reported a few weeks ago that Sevilla were looking for a 50-50 split on wages in terms of Jordan going forward, and that'd be around about, I think, 29,000. I worked it out to be, given the fact he's on about 58 grand a week. Now, 40% of that 58 grand would certainly, you know, still be a substantial figure, you know, for Rangers to pay for a player. But look, I'll be honest with you, it is perhaps something worth looking at. It is something, you know, maybe that Rangers do need to look at in terms of salaries, because, you know, this is an area we do need to strengthen. We do need to sort of build up a little bit. You know, that number 6, that player who, you know, scraps and fights to get the ball back, that player that is in there to sort of be the destroyer of things, and then the player who comes in and, you know, then gives the ball to those players who are perhaps slightly more creative. You know, that is very much what we're looking at in terms of this player. You know, Jordan, I think, would be a decent signing. Like I said, the one thing that goes against him is his age. But, you know, he's certainly, again, you know, as I mentioned on the video, I don't want to talk too much about Jordan because I did that on that video earlier this month. You know, he's got a lot of experience. He's played in a number of different, you know, he's obviously played a lot of La Liga football. He's played Champions League football. He's played Europa League football. He's played with one of the top teams in Spain, in Sevilla. So he's a very experienced player. And, you know, to some degree, that's what fans have been crying out for. And I don't think by any stretch of the imagination, if Rangers were to bring in Jordan, Tierney and Hannibal, that would be enough. I still think we need a centre-back. I still think we need, well, at least one. I think we need 2 centre-backs. But I think realistically, you're not going to get 2 in this window, maybe 2 in the long term. But I do feel that we do need another centre-back. We do need a striker. You know, if we could find those 2 to add to these 3, that would certainly be good business. You know, 3 loans. Yes, I know they're loans, but sometimes, you know, you've got to kind of use everything you can to build your squad. And I get the frustration maybe there that, you know, we want our own players. We want to buy our own players, but the financial situation is not great at the moment, is it? It's a situation where we can't really afford to go out and splash the cash. So, look, if those 3 are to be signed, you know, it brings an inventiveness, it brings an energy, it brings a directness, it brings a ball-winning ability, it brings all the things we've kind of been lacking pre-season, well, apart from the goals, I suppose, with the strikers and the defensive stability. So that's the 2 things I do feel we still need to work on. Guys, I'd love to get your thoughts and opinions on those 3 players. Finally today, this is Rangers' new 3rd kit, which was unveiled yesterday by the club. Many of you may have already bought it. It went on sale. It's going on sale at 8 a.m. Friday morning. It's 8 a.m. this morning. So if you're watching this video after 8 a.m., it's already on sale. Certainly fascinating. It's apparently a throw to our lion badge, our lion heritage. That's the symbolism of the colours and the shapes on the kit. It's a very interesting kit, isn't it? A bit of a plethora and cacophony of colours that clash maybe a little bit on a dark navy background. Very interesting kit design by Castore. And I know when I put it on the community tab earlier, as a lot of people said they hate it. Some people say they like it. Some people say they can't stand it. Once again, it divides opinion, as everything seems to do at Rangers, whether it's a kit, a footballer, or an opinion. Guys, let me know what you think of the new third kit anyway. Well, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. As always, guys, if you could do me 2 favours on the way out. Number 1, smash the like. And number 2, remember always, we are the people.